Well, hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're stopping by. The weekend is officially here for some of us. I know some people have different days off. I am fortunate enough to have the weekends off, which is pretty great. Sometimes, you know, it's nice to get off in the middle of the week, but being off when everybody else is kind of fun too. Of course, we got the holidays coming up, which Christmas is on a weekend. But I still get 4 days off, so that's good. I get a 4-day weekend. But I'm glad you guys liked the Christmas video I put out yesterday. You know, I'm putting a lot of videos out lately, but it's mainly just life stuff. And I kind of like that. I really do. I like talking about life in general. Had a really cool conversation earlier, and I don't want to get really religious here. So, I'm not going to give any names or anything like that, but, you know, I have, in my office, you know, I have engineers and stuff that walk by quite a bit. And one I talk to quite a bit. And we got on a discussion. We was talking about weddings, how we wanted a simple wedding, and all the stuff like that. But then we got on the topic of religion. I know, before you disconnect, be like, it's going to be one of those things. It was a weird conversation for me. But here's the thing. I was raised in a church-going family for the most part. Mainly on my mom's side. You know, my grandpa was a preacher. My uncle's a preacher. You know, they was raised in that type of setting. Mainly just like a Baptist type thing. And we go to these little churches that maybe 12 or 15 people would show up, and you have the old ladies singing out a tune, handshakes, fried chicken, that kind of church. You have your revivals where everybody comes because there's going to be a ton of food. That's the church I was. I don't know about you guys, but some of the new churches, like the really hip and cool churches, you know, I never did like that. I never did. And then, you know, I was explaining it to him. And we got to talking about things that part of me felt uncomfortable, but part of me envies people that get excited to talk about God and stuff. I don't know why. I don't know why, but I envy people that, you know, you go to church and are raising their hands and praying and knows and feels good talking about God. I envy those people because I don't know what it's like. You know, I thought during my life that, you know, maybe I found God, but maybe I haven't, because, you know, you have a lot of these people that, you know, the devout Christians, and I'm not talking about Sunday morning church Christians. I'm talking about people that live and breathe God and Jesus. And it, you know, part of me always thought that, hey, okay, maybe that's all there is to it. Just believe in God and there you go. But the way he was talking, and he said he was a lot like how I was, more agnostic. And I kind of consider myself agnostic for the most part. You know, I'm more of a man of science than I am of religion. And I do have those times where I will go to church and not what to expect. And I kind of feel like every time I do go to church, the message is hitting close to the heart. And you always feel bad. Like, I don't know about you. You go to church, you know, you don't really go to church. That's not your thing. But you go. Somebody invites you and you go. And you always feel like such an asshole. Like, you feel so bad because the message they're saying is like, man, that's directed straight to me. Like, I came and they're talking about this. And that's what's going on in my life right now. And you're like, how the fuck did they know that? And it's always confusing because I always feel bad. And you're probably saying, why are you cussing and talking about religion? Yeah, it is what it is. It's just words, honestly. But we was talking about this stuff, and it was just so crazy to connect with somebody is like me, but had the same ideas that I have. But he was so excited to talk about God and how, he found God. And like the story he was telling me, it was like, oh my God. Like literally, like, oh my God, that's me. That's me, dude. Like, and we carried this conversation. And like I said, the conversation stemmed from talking about marriage. And it was just funny things about marriage and jobs. Then we got on this big talk about finding God. And this conversation lasted for, 45 minutes. And I was so moved by some of the stuff he was saying. And it made me feel things that I haven't really felt in a long time. And you could tell, like, he had such passion. And, he was dropping, the F-bomb and S-bombs, all that stuff. And he was just like me, like, talking like a normal human being. Like, not a care in the world. And, like, I could tell that he was happy talking about it. And I always envied that. I don't know why. I always envied people that enjoyed religion. I always envied those people because they're so happy and they just live carefree. You're like, oh, well, it's in God's hands. And, I'm like, man, like, how can you do that? How do you do that? And like I said, I'm very envy of people like that. Just like how I'm envy of people that can play Dark Souls. But this is like a totally different, this is more of a spiritual thing. Like, has that happened to you guys? Like, any of you guys had that happen where somebody is so passionate about religion that it just makes you feel warm inside? And it got me thinking, and this is weird, and you can turn the video off if you want to. This was so weird because I wasn't expecting to talk about something like that. And I kind of feel like it was just thrown in my path as something, maybe that conversation was supposed to happen. And, we talked about dinosaurs. And I know people that are religious that don't believe in dinosaurs or the Big Bang Theory. And me, as somebody that loves science, I love anything to do with science. And I always wanted to see the correlation between science and religion. And it exists. It really does. And these things he was talking about and I was talking about, I've never had a conversation with somebody where my beliefs and his beliefs tied in so well. Something I've always wanted. Like I said, you try bringing up science to some Christians, and they're like, yeah, I don't believe that. There's no room for that in my life. Why would you say that? Who are you to say that? And it's confusing to me. And again, this is a weird video, really weird, and it might scare some of you guys off. But it was so crazy to talk to somebody that considers themselves as, well, the way he said it is like, I'm not a Christian, but I'm a Christian. Like painting Christian as a bad word. Because for the most part, Christianity is oversimplified for the most part. It's either you believe in God or you don't believe in God. Buy this t-shirt that says, hey, God is awesome, but it also looks like a Reese's peanut butter cup. Go to this church because they have a gym there. Then you can have a conversation. He had a different idea that I really enjoy. I actually really enjoy it. It's really wild. really wild. And I promise this channel's not going to become like this super religious channel. It's not. It's just a conversation that I never thought I would have, and it was just placed in front of me. And he was raise a star, shun sunlight, or so it was coming from this guy. I was like, he's just radiating joy, and I was like, holy crap! Like, I don't know what it is, but I want what you have. I want that. And you know, he's like, the way it happened to him. And let me give you some backstory here. You know, I've been to church, I've been saved, I've been baptized, and I never felt it. I've never felt it. I thought I did, but I walk away from it. And it's easy to walk away from things. It is. But the way he was talking is, I walked away from it so many times in my life, and my life was falling apart. And one day I was sitting on the couch with my cat, smoking a cigarette, and I was like, hey, God, take me. And it happened. He said he felt like a calm that he's never felt in his life. And he talks exactly how I talk. The conversation that I'm having with you is very similar to what he sounded like. He just sounded like me, and he had his shit like together. And maybe that was a tall tale sign for me to start looking into this kind of thing. Maybe science and religion can coexist. And I think he was kind of proof of that. And again, I'm not trying to sway you guys and turn this into some kind of religious channel or anything. But I'd like to know what you guys think. Has this ever happened to you? Like, have you ever had something similar? It doesn't have to be religion. It could be a political thing. It could be anything, like Star Wars, but has anything like this ever opened your eyes a little bit and just make you think for a second? That's the question I'd like to know. I'd like to know what you guys think. I like to have that kind of discussion. That'd be kind of cool to have that kind of discussion. That would have been a really awesome video, to be honest. It was cool to me. It's cool to me, and this is why I like making videos when I'm driving, because I get to kind of talk about, you know, how my day was in my elements driving, because it's like I said, it's one of my favorite things to do, and it gives me a lot to reflect with. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I definitely appreciate it. I hope you hit that subscribe button. I hope I didn't scare you away. I know what you're gonna say. Some people's like, wait a minute, this is not what I signed up for. But stay tuned. Stay tuned. Like I said, this could have been a sign, but I need it. Maybe. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon.